Get ready, Staten Island. It's time to celebrate 5 years of Ferry Hawks baseball.
The Ferry Hawks are back at SIUH Community Park this week against the Hagerstown Flying Boxcars. A 5-game series starting Wednesday with first pitch at 6:30. Thursday at 4 p.m., it's Jewish Heritage Night. Friday at 7 p.m., it's Soccer Night. And kids glow around the bases postgame. Saturday at 6:30, it's Broadway Night with postgame fireworks and Broadway Rave. Sunday at 1:30, it's Military Appreciation Day, and the kids run around the bases.
Visit ferryhawks.com now to lock in your seats.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
This guy is one of the radio treasures in this country, ranked number 7 on the Heavy 100. That is no small feat. A legitimate superstar who happens to reign from San Antonio, Texas, although he is a former New Yorker. Saw him on Friday, did a tremendous job, and his daughter, Sammy. It's my friend Joe Pags. Joe, good Monday morning, buddy. How are you?
Sad. Sid, I'm sad that you played 1999. What are you thinking, dude? You guys lost.
Yeah, we did, but that was then.
By us.
Yeah, that was then. And here's the bad news for you. Okay. As Rick Pitino once said, Tim Duncan is not walking on the court tonight, my friend. Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, they're not walking on the court tonight. And Wembanyama has proven, even though he's a magnificent talent and maybe the best player in the league in a year or two, Towns is physically keeping this guy out of the game. And if you don't get huge efforts from Wembanyama, this thing is over on Wednesday night. That's the bottom line.
Well, a couple of things. First of all, I'm honored to be on the program. This is got to be the best morning show on the planet. First of all. Second of all, I'm still a New Yorker. I'm not a former New Yorker. I was born in Amityville. I'm from Copiague. And I would have been pulling for the Knicks had it not been the San Antonio Spurs. I've been here for 3 championships now, and I'm a big Spurs fan. Listen, Wembanyama is like 7'4" or 5" and weighs 122 pounds. I'm not really sure what are you going to do with that guy? Cat must outweigh him by 150 pounds, right?
He does. And you know, he's not going anywhere near the paint, and Cat is having big offensive efforts, so you know Brunson, he's going to outplay the rest. And look, you got 6 guys on that team that average double digits, right? You've got Wemby, and you've got Vassell scores a bunch of points, and Champagne, and Harper, and Castle, and Fox. But the only real star on that team, we got a couple. And Jalen Brunson hasn't even played well. He had a rough first half in Game 1, did not play well in Game 2. He's been our MVP this whole run, and we're still up 2-0. So all I'm saying is read the tea leaves. Back in New York, this team's won 13 straight. You had opportunities to win both home games in the first 2 and walked out without a win. I know you're a Knicks fan at heart, now in San Antonio. Just from an unbiased standpoint, there is really no logical reason to believe that the Spurs are going to win 4 of the next 5 games.
Well, I think the Spurs have to hope to end the streak and maybe win a game or 2. I hope that they win because I've been here for a long time. I know a lot of the people in the Spurs organization. I've had people like Tony Parker and Bruce Bowen and others on my show. In fact, I gave Bruce Bowen his start in radio. But You're right. It's not the same team. This team is there way earlier than anybody thought they would be. We thought 3, 4, 5 years from now they'd start dominating and might have a decade in them to dominate. This team is so young, Sid. You know they're going to be around for a long time. But let me say this. I've got to give Brunson his flowers. I mean, I had no idea this guy was that good. I knew he was good. But in crunch time, when Wemby starts to crumble, this guy rises. It's unbelievable what Brunson has done. And I thought his father was going to get in a fight with Fox the other night. I thought that was pretty interesting, too.
Hey, Rick Brunson, who was a basketball player, too, can still handle himself. He's probably my age, 60. But I do have to ask you this, Joe, because above and beyond basketball, again, you're a legitimate superstar, number 7 on the list, best friends with Sean Hannity, good buddies with me. You're magnificent on the air, magnificent. And I know you love your basketball team, but how do you root for a team? It's an honest question. That is coached was coached by that reprobate Greg Popovich. How do you do that?
Well, I got to throw this out there. I was in with the Spurs really good. Like I was playing the national anthem at the Western Conference Finals against the Lakers back in 2013 or 2012, whatever it was. I mean, I was in really, really good with them. But then Pop did what he did about misogyny and Islamophobia, and he did all this stuff attacking Trump. And I said something on the air, and I was out. So I don't have that kind of connection, that kind of relationship anymore, because I heard him say it, and I know that here in Military City, USA, in San Antonio, at least half was not in line with what he was saying and didn't like it. And there were a lot of empty seats for a long time. People have gone back now. A lot of that politics stuff isn't happening anymore. That was well over 10 years ago. But I'm with you. I mean, I hear you. I had Pop on my show once. I think you asked me this at Talkers the other day, and we talked about wine and Italians because he couldn't talk about the NBA. It was during the lockout. Yeah. But when he did that, I felt, because you feel the same way in the job that you and I both do, I felt a responsibility to my audience that I had to say something, and I did, and it cost me. But I wasn't afraid to do it, and I'd probably do it again.
God bless you. Him and Steve Kerr in Golden State, Stan Van Gundy when he's coaching.
It's so much. It's so much freaking noise. You just feel like telling him, just shut up, man.
Right.
You're a great coach.
Right.
Coach basketball.
Yep.
Like Michael Jordan said in the 80s, even Republicans like sneakers. Stop separating the audience. You want all of them, don't you?
100%. Like Laura Ingraham said, just shut up and dribble. Just shut up and coach. Yes. This is the great Joe Pags. So I did your great podcast and show last week before you're doing this today. Yes. Thanks for the payback. And I was on, for the most part, to talk about the mayor. And again, you're a New York guy, spent a lot of years on Long Island. That's, I guess, how you and Sean Hannity got so close. And you asked me a lot about the mayor because last week was the Israel Day Parade, and I was on locally NBC4. I told Melissa Russo the mayor wants us dead. I've doubled down on that. I've tripled down on that. As far as I'm concerned, he wants Jewish people dead. He's done nothing to show me anything different. Nothing. What he says means nothing to me. It's what he does. He is now endorsing some of the worst candidates you've ever seen. I mean, this one Congress lady he's endorsing up for Congress here in New York was at an anti-Israel rally on October the 8th. October the 8th of 2023. These are the people. Yeah, it's crazy. So, again, as a New Yorker, I know you're living in Texas right now. When you watch, Joe Pags, what's going on with Mamdani in our city, you're thinking, what?
Well, first of all, I was stunned that the guy won because I feel like New York is hitting critical mass like it did when Rudy won, when George Pataki won. I think that a lot of New Yorkers, I thought they were going to hold their noses and vote for somebody other than this guy, especially with the 25th anniversary of 9/11 coming up. I was blown away that he was voted in. But you've been saying it all along. I've been listening earlier this morning, and you and I talked face-to-face on Friday. This guy is an actor, start to finish. He's an actor. He'll say whatever he has to say to get it. Once he gets the power, he's going to be who he truly is. Second thing, I can't believe you're not going to the stadium tonight to go watch the game. Which is
you really have been listening. Good job, Joe. Good job.
You know what? You know what that reminded me of, Sid? I promise you, it reminded me of Barack Obama. Do you remember when Barack Obama was sitting in the booth with the guys calling the Chicago White Sox game? And the announcers, innocent as they could, looked at him and said, "Mr. President," he was the president at the time, "Mr. President, what team do you pull for, the Chicago Cubs or the White Sox?" He said, "Why? I'm a White Sox man. I'm a South Sider." I go, "Okay. Who are your favorite White Sox players?" Sid, I swear, he couldn't say one player.
Not one player. I remember I kept saying,
no idea who ever played.
I know. I kept saying, "Scream Ron Kittle. Scream Ron Kittle. Give me something."
Say something.
Yes. But so
Mamdani is the same freaking guy.
Yep.
He's going to lie. New Yorkers are now wise to him. The affordability thing was a lie. The grocery stores thing was a lie. Taking care of the homeless was a lie. And free buses, that was a lie. Now he wants to take up and have the city own every property so that you can go to Daddy or God Mamdani and say, "Can I please have a place to live?" This guy's going to be one and done. Sid, tell me he's going to be one and done, please.
I can't. And, I've gotten so many people, Joe Pags, from Laura Trump, the beautiful daughter-in-law of the president, Bruce Blakeman, he's running for governor right now, I got a laundry list of big names that are begging me to run. And, look, I'm about to do a new radio deal, and, this is a pretty good paying job, and I love doing this. And to think about giving up all that money.
You're so good at it.
Thank you. You too. To deal with the city council and state legislators and the governor, that idiot, it doesn't seem all that attractive to me, but it's so bad in the city that if I have to, I will consider running. But truth be told, right now, even if Jessica Tisch runs, our amazing police commissioner, I don't see anybody beating this guy, at least not right now.
Wow.
I don't see it.
It's stunning to me because I figured that there'd be voters' remorse almost immediately, Sid. They see that this guy was lying about almost everything. And he balanced the budget by begging for $4 billion more from Hochul.
Correct.
How is that balancing the budget? You're just borrowing it from somebody else.
That's correct, but they're too stupid. Yeah, he's a mess, but these kids aren't paying attention, and mommy and daddy are still paying their rent in Williamsburg. They're going to Starbucks during the daytime and going to clubs and doing cocaine at night, living the life, taking the ferry to the beach every day, and they're not paying attention to stuff like you and I, so they just don't care. This is a simple yes or no question. We saw President Trump's response on NBC yesterday. Spencer Pratt is going to lose. He's going to lose. Write it down. It's over. It's going to be Bass and Rahman for the mayor's race in L.A. Hilton is holding on to second ahead of Steyer, but he's not beating Becerra come the general election. So no Republicans are going to win in the state of California. Very simple question. Is that election rigged?
Yes.
No doubt.
And by the way, Sid, we're allowed to say that. People keep saying you can't question the 2020 election. You can't question what's going on in California. You can't question Georgia and Michigan and Arizona from 2020. Of course you can. We have the right under the First Amendment to say what we want to say. And if I don't think the election is going right, and if I think there's something wrong with it, I'm allowed to say that by law. And there is going to be a DOJ investigation into what's going on in California. That's a restriction of rights. That's stealing the franchise from people. You can't vote and count votes for 30 days until you get the right result. That's ridiculous.